Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lesson 3. And Lesson 3, my wonderful co-creator friend forever and ever and beyond, Mary Thomas, and I are going to talk about the word care. And so I will read the questions first, and then Mary and I will share our insights and conversation about it. If unconditionally loving myself is the greatest gift I can offer another, why do we struggle? How can it be so easy to care for others and not for myself? Yet how can I authentically care for another if I don't nurture myself as if my life depends upon it? Care. Now, I have used this acronym CAR for a long time because I wrote my book, Drive Yourself Happy. And when I would talk about it, I would talk about choice, accountability, and responsibility. And choice is that ability to not be a victim of your circumstances, but do what we were talking about by accepting and allowing. It's like opening yourself to new possibilities and you making the choice rather than feeling like your circumstances do. Accountability is that showing up piece. Knowing that you are driving your boat rather than living life from a state of blame. Responsibility is that ability to respond to life's circumstances rather than react.
Yes.
And then this E came along, Mary, because both you and I are caregivers. We're not as good at care receiving, and we're always learning how to expand that part of ourselves to be in a greater dance, knowing that you need to be able to do both, to care receive and to care give. So the E to me became evolving and an awareness of our energy state.
Yes.
So it's that evolving from, so we're not living life from our past conditioning, but rather consciously experiencing life through creating the future by living putting more of our energy and attention toward feeling and thinking through what the future possibility is, rather than allowing our lives to be dictated by the past. So I'm interested in what you've learned about this word.
Wow. We're both masters. We have our PhDs in caring for others.
Mm-hmm.
We are extraordinary. And we've had a conversation before that some of our health issues is because we've always cared for everyone else first.
Mm-hmm.
And, all of those things you just mentioned, the choice, having it be a choice. I think for us, running ourselves ragged or to the point of exhaustion has been a choice because we felt the need to do that because of someone else's need.
Right.
And, in looking at that now, was that totally responsible. Yeah, you know, I mean, we responded to the situation. If it was caring for our parents, if it was caring for a child or a relative, um, for through work, whatever it might be, we were drawn to do that.
A tricky part for you and I know, and I would suspect for others too, is that caring, being that for others, it's in response to a calling that we feel. So
Yes,
it creates a fuzzy edge.
absolutely. And there's the boundaries are what I know for myself have been missing. You know, when to say that's enough, or when to leave the dishes in the sink and go sit down for a minute. You know, when to when to say it's all right that the floors haven't been mopped. You know, um, and do that self care, because for me, for that self care part of loving myself, it got into being perfect for everyone, making everyone happy, taking care of everyone else's needs, and hoping that somehow that was going to make me happy.
Right.
So it's really a you know, in thinking about that and how I've lived my life, there's a passive aggressiveness to it because there was a not enough at the bottom of it.
Ah, ooh,
So if I cared for everyone else, maybe that would make me enough to
right.
care for myself.
So so what's the big takeaway? What do you think is the greatest
Mm.
and think, what do you know? What do you feel is the
Yeah.
greatest takeaway for us when we think about how to live this more consciously?
Well, I've been forced to.
Yeah,
And I know you
and
have
let's
been
get it
forced to.
before we have to get to that point, it's
Yes. Yes. And that's what I hope anyone viewing this stops that forward momentum before it becomes a crisis state where you need to be cared for yourself. You
right,
know, I mean, this year has been a new one for me. And I've had glimpses of it with, you know, a broken leg and a broken arm and all of these things where I needed more help, you know, with things, but not to this level
right,
where, as you know, I needed somebody 24/7.
right. Well, so how can I authentically care for another if I don't nurture myself as if my life depends upon it?
That's where the passive aggressiveness comes up for me, or the this is what will get me love. And
Right,
even though it's our innate character, because I cannot not care, you know, if I can make someone more comfortable, to put a smile on someone's face
right,
is the best payoff there is. You
right.
know, that opens my heart. But
And how can we,
and
and the calling to me is to get that it's not selfish
yes,
to love and honor and respect yourself to the same degree that you love and honor and respect others in your life. And it will continue to be the dance.
yes. And you know what? Isn't that unconditional love?
Yeah,
Right? Because it's caring without expectation of return. You know, it's caring because, and or that I'll get fed if I care, or
right,
the tribe will keep me if I care.
right,
You know, if I can make them happy, they'll keep me around. You
right,
know, I mean, it's taking that, and we know it intellectually that if the well goes dry, there's nothing to give,
right.
you know, and yet doing it because of the programming and the past and the way that I received love, was by taking care of everyone. My mother told me, this is your job. Even into my 50s with one of my younger brothers, it was like, well, you've got to take care of him, until I finally said, you know what? No, I don't.
Right.
He's not my job. His dysfunction is not
Yeah. So I
is
think
not me, mine to fix.
so I
You
think
know?
now it's for us to take the word that we uh the of lesson 2 of dare. Can we dare to care?
Care. Absolutely. And to care for
So,
ourselves
yeah. Yeah.
as well as we do it for everyone else.
Yeah.
And
Even if it's in
how
those small, simple ways.
it's almost like a disconnect. Or it is a disconnect, is that it's so easy to know how to do something for someone else. And yet I look at myself and go, and like these days, it's like, okay, I can do anything I want today, as long as, resting and reading a book or binging on Netflix. I mean, that's about the extent of a lot of what I can do.
Right.
I can do any of that. I can sit in the sun. I can go take
Yeah.
a walk. It's, the corner stop sign or something. But I can. And that's like a whole new world for me, because there were all of these have tos, and is Gary fed, and is the house clean, and does Sophie need a treat, and who
Right.
besides work, all of those things, and the plants, and caring, for everything and everything we own. I think that's why the minimalist movement is so intriguing to me, is that you limit the things that you have to care for.
So that you have more energy for yourself.
Yeah.
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 So little by little, Mare, we continue to be on this journey of learning about how our energy affects that, but how it calls for us to learn how to care for ourselves, even if it's in those small, simple ways.
Yes. And to say often to ourselves, I love you and you are doing a great job.
Yeah. The arm can reach this way.
Yes, I know. What was the old saying? Don't break your arm, patting yourself on your back. How bad. I mean, we know people with huge egos, right? Who
Right.
must do that. But there's a self-loving aspect to that,
Yeah.
of saying, you did a good job.
Right.
You did good today. You helped someone. You made a difference today.
You took care of
You
yourself
can.
today.
Yes. Or I took care of myself today,
Yeah.
Yeah. I let myself have those bites of ice cream and didn't beat myself up.
Yeah.
You know?
All right,
Yeah.
Mayor. So our ask of people, or our suggestion, is that you really find the simple ways today, just
Yeah.
the simple ways to not only love everybody else, but to do self-care.
Yeah.
All righty.
To love and care for ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Till next time.
I love you.